So we formally begin our webinar on retention, membership retention and recruitment. Welcome to everyone once again. Membership is a great matter of concern for every one of us, especially after COVID-19. This pandemic has raised a serious question about membership retention and recruitment. Though some of the MOs are really struggling hard to bring the new members in the organization, the same or other MOs are losing their members as well because of this. Many MOs are school based, whereas many of them are also the community based. But since the pandemic has locked up everyone inside the home and locked up the activities, like it has brought lots of constraints in the movement, the serious question has come up in the organization regarding the membership. So everyone is talking about now what will happen with our membership. In some of the MOs, we can see the raise of hopes that they are getting good increase in their number, whereas in most of the MOs, the situation is different. They are not being able to bring the members together. They are not able to connect with their members, the Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. So this has simply created a kind of problem, a pool of problems in the member organization and the region itself, that are we gonna lose our members if we do not work out to retain and recruit the members? Then what will be our future in 6 months time or 1 year time, or after 5 years? What will be our branding? What will be our ways of work? What will be our situation status and everything? So membership has a lot to do with our programs, a lot to do with our results, and a lot to do with our how we deliver our programs. That is why as we surveyed among our member organizations, the priority areas of the talks that we could be doing through our webinars, so membership recruitment and retention has also been one of the prioritized area. So as per the need of the MOs in our region, we have come up with this second webinar. And once again, welcoming you all. We have the presenters today, and I'm really privileged to welcome Korana Kovacevic, whom we call Koka, who is the capacity building lead for the area of recruitment and retention. And as a WAX facilitator, she delivered global events and seminars and has supported MOs in areas of growth, leadership, and Girl Guides and Girl Scouting program. And she is based in Slovenia. So welcome you, Koka.
Hello, this is me.
Hi, Koka. And we have Yes Girls representatives. I'm very happy to welcome Noreen. She is from Bangladesh and she is currently in Madagascar. So she will be talking about the online campaign of recruitment. And at the same time, with her, they will be sharing the platform. Saru Gosai is from Nepal and she is the country coordinator. So welcome Saru, welcome Noreen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have from Bharat Scouts and Guides, we have Deputy Director Darshana Pavaskar. Welcome Darshana. And besides that, we also have new Global Program Manager at WAC in Uganda, and our Yes Girls Coordinator, Robina. So Robina, we welcome you as well in the webinar.
Thank you so much, Maya.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. So since we already waited for more than 10 minutes for all the participants to join the webinar, we are already a bit back by 15 minutes time. So without sparing much more time in introducing and welcoming each one of you, I like to request Koka to present her presentation on R&R.
Okay, hello everyone, and I think the internet muted Maya at the right moment to start to speak. Anyway, my name is Koka or Korana, and like Maya already said, I am based in Europe, and I work with recruitment and retention, or specifically, if we talk about recruitment and retention is, let's say, one piece of the bigger picture, and that bigger picture is growth. So in WAGs, in previous years, you probably read about the growth strategies. Even in the last strategic plan, growth was a really, really big push, a really big strategic goal. And I have some great news to share with you that I heard yesterday, actually, that official numbers for 2019 are in, and as previously WAGs thought, we have not reached the 10 million. Now the new numbers prove that we actually are over 10 million now, officially as well. So that proves that growth strategies and all the work that has been done in all regions has been successful, and WAGs has welcomed quite a few new member organizations, of which I'm sure you heard as well. So before we start, I wanted to check, do you hear me well? You can just kind of raise your hand or say yes. Yes, okay, very good. And if I speak too fast, or if you don't understand me, please let me know, or you can type in the box, and then Rupa, who is the technical ninja of this webinar, will let me know, okay? So let's start. I will share my screen because I have a presentation on my screen, okay? Just a second. Okay. Okay, so when we talk about recruitment and retention, so I put a word here for thriving because I hope that all our organizations now moving from responding to recovering to thriving already. So it's a bit of like a motivational kick there. Okay, so I would like us to take now a minute and think about what will happen if we don't manage to retain a certain amount of members that we want to retain and recruit new ones, let's say in the next 6 months. So you will have a minute to think about it. So really kind of think about 6 months or maybe a year from now, what will happen if we don't do the work and don't manage to keep our members and recruit new ones. And then after this minute, you will have an opportunity to share. So you can just raise your hand or you can kind of type in. So think about what will happen if we don't do the work and what effect will that have. Okay. You have about 1 minute to think. Okay, so I think about 1 minute is up. Would anybody like to share? Or who would like to go? You can think from the perspective of your organization. No problem.
So I request the participants to just unmute themselves and start speaking. I have one here in the chat box. Malini from Fiji. She has said the membership of the MOs will decrease.
Okay, that is obvious. What will that impact?
Darshana from BSG India has a question. To repeat the question again, Koka.
What will happen if we don't do the work in retaining members and recruiting new members? Obviously, the membership will decrease, but what effect will that have? I mean, we have thought about this in our organizations a lot over the weeks. So this is not a new question. It's just to taking a minute to reflect to actually what could happen if we don't do the work. That was the question. Anybody else?
Koka?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
We will lose the smiling faces.
Here they are. The Pune girls? Yes. Okay, so anybody else wants to share? For example, sorry, Darshana? Darshana, what did you say? Okay, some internet challenges there, but no problem. Okay, so anybody else wants to share what you think might happen if we don't do the work? Or if we don't do enough?
Alija Kashif has dropped in the chat box. I think it will affect our finance. We cannot attract the donors.
Yes, very good. Anybody else?
And there is another message in the chat box. Gwen Lee has said the branding and image of the organization will be affected.
Okay.
If we don't do enough work, finances, of course, will be affected, but membership will drastically go down because activities and programs attract new membership.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay. So if not, we'll move on. Yes, definitely. So when we talk about membership, we very quickly come to understanding that if we don't have members, it affects all areas of our functioning pretty much. So it would affect staffing, it would affect volunteer support, it would affect programming and development, new programs, it would affect finances, governance. So pretty much everything that we do will be affected. This is for us really important because sometimes these things function separately, but understanding that membership and our numbers to keep the members and recruit more are actually at the key functioning of our organization. So it's really important that we keep that kind of in mind. Okay, so if we move on, at the beginning, Maya mentioned why this webinar on recruitment and retention. And if we look at some of the numbers, just as a recap, that WAGs spoke to 150 MOs, and 95 MOs have suspended in-person activities, and they're expecting loss of membership due to results of pandemic. So some organizations are being a bit more agile with keeping the actual numbers and data, and some are kind of doing a rough guess. So we also have some organizations whose membership grew over the past months. So sometimes it's really important that we ask ourselves, are we really going to lose numbers, or this is just our guess? So sometimes miracles can happen, and a little bit of work can have big results. So it's really important to keep asking ourselves the question when the doom and gloom start, to ask ourselves questions: is this true, or is this really true? And see and back that with data. We'll talk about that later. So here are some of the things that MOs from this survey asked for, some concerns. This is just a recap. You heard about this before. So one was more girl guiding and girl scouting online safety. Some materials have been already developed on this. Please use the WAG's website to access them, such as Serve Smart and similar things. Support in crisis management. Can anyone tell me when was the last time you had support in crisis management for WAGs in AP as a region? Let me see if you're asleep. Anyone remembers? What was the last thing done? Okay. Okay, so the last thing was actually on the 25th of July. There was a webinar, the first webinar in the series for the AP region. It was delivered like a crisis management webinar. If you haven't had a chance to see it, hear it, it's very good, so I would suggest that you check it out. Probably many of you were already on that webinar as well. So one thing that member organizations asked for is different delivery of programs and resources. So this refers mainly to going online and delivering programs online and developing some alternative resources to back that up. Later on, we will also hear from one of the organizations, PSNG. They will present how they developed some programs and actually moved into the online world. One of things is concern about membership figures. At this point, it was still a concern because this survey was done a few months ago, which means that by now, or in the next couple of months, we should be getting some solid information about actual numbers and how much they reduced and so on. One thing was improved visibility of girl guiding and girl scouting. And if I'm not mistaken, I think AP region is also preparing to deliver a webinar on visibility. Rupa, am I right? I think so. Yeah? Okay. Financial aid and fundraising. Okay, so this is also a really big one, and I know that some webinars will be delivered to you as well in financial aid and fundraising. And adapting to new normal, which different organizations are in different stages. Some are back to fully running activities in person. Some organizations are kind of still in almost a lockdown, or parts of the countries are in lockdown, so they kind of can't deliver. So this is a process that we're all going through and been through, and it's a matter of really adapting and finding best ways to sustain through this period. Okay. So you remember this 3 arrows from the crisis management webinar, well, recovery. So first one was responding, so we were all in that phase. Most organizations are now somewhere between recovering and thriving already. So this thriving is really important. This is now a period for us to prepare for new, let's say, a new guidance scout year for many organizations, for the next phase, for the next year, and so on. So I would kind of like you to keep your eye and your focus and mindset on the word thrive. Okay. So this is also from the previous webinar, just to recap. These are the 5 key steps from crisis to thriving. So how to get from the first arrow to the pink one, the last one. So it's gathering the response team, reviewing and updating data. So this gathering the response team, this is really important because, again, when we go back to the question, what will happen if we don't do enough? Having the response team is first really important step to have in this response team, people from different areas that can kind of bring the work together and move on. Review and update data. This is also very important to see, maybe to know the membership numbers right now, that we can then compare them to the membership numbers in 6 months, in a year. So this one is really important. And then prioritizing challenges and responses, of course, and then planning options for recovery and acting promptly and communicating effectively and consistently. So these are kind of the, let's say, standard 5 steps. If you want to hear more about each of these, they're all in the webinar and quite explained in more detail. So, okay, so we're moving on. So if we move to the session objectives, in this session we'd like to cover the highlighted interconnection between several areas for successful membership recruitment and retention, because we already mentioned that recruitment and retention affects in different areas. So, and recruitment and retention is not a magic, let's say, there is no magic trick how you can do it. There are different ways how you can involve different areas and grow through that. Okay. Next one is explore practices of successful recruitment and retention during pandemic. We will hear from 2 organizations, or actually not organizations. One is a project, it's a Yes Girls project, and the other one is BSNG, Bharat Guides and Scouts. Yeah. Good. We will also learn a little bit about retention and recruitment strategies, and then also talk about the importance of tracking data that we can then create information from. Okay. So if we move on, earlier I mentioned the word growth quite several times. And the reason why I prefer using the word growth is because it's much more motivating, it's much more inclusive, which means it includes work on different areas. The wording recruitment and retention, I see it as kind of one part of the whole growth kind of mindset and effort. Okay, so I hope this is clear that when we talk about recruitment and retention, we're also talking about growth in general, and then recruitment and retention being kind of this more technical term part of the growth. If there's any kind of misunderstandings here, you can let me know and then we can try to clarify it. But in WAG's terms, we kind of prefer talking about growth in general. Okay, so when we think about how we can grow and where we can focus our efforts, really important thing is that we engage different areas in working together. So previously I mentioned kind of having this crisis team put together. When we talk about different areas, we think about the volunteer management, the staff management, the finance people, the, let's say, programming people. So all of these different areas, it's really important if we want to prioritize growth, we need to get all these people on board to work together. It's quite common that these departments, let's say, or these areas will work quite independently, but especially when we focus on growth, we need to bring them together because that's the only way how it can actually work successfully. Okay, so one area is volunteer support. So we need to think about finding more ways to bring more volunteers on board. A lot of things what happened in this COVID is a lot of professional staff. There was a trend in, let's say, professionalizing the organizations, which meant hiring more staff to do more things, of course, because we want to be better, each organization. Now in COVID, a lot of the staff has made redundant or they are kind of worried about their jobs. So we won't be able to afford as many professional staff, which means we need to fill this gap with volunteers. So having a volunteer coordinator or volunteer recruitment coordinator is really important. It also can be a volunteer themselves. It doesn't need to be paid staff. Okay, so the really, really important area through which we can grow is growth through program. So growth through program has different approaches. Some organizations try to strengthen, improve, change their program. Some organizations would take programs which already exist in WAGs, such as Free Being Me and Stop the Violence, for example. And then they will present this to members, and through those kind of, maybe in schools or in communities, so that is, for example, one way. Really important thing in program or growth through program is to think about and look for the current trends. We have been noticing that a lot of organizations, when the crisis started, they moved their, let's say, program online. But what they did was they ran activities like they would run them like with their brownies, Girl Guides, Rangers. That was the first logical step, and it's a great thing that it was done, because the girls and boys, like if we talk about Bharat Guys and Scouts, they didn't lose the consistency. So they still received a lot of attention from their leaders. They could deliver activities, they could help with the community and so on. But if we look, okay. Shempaka, can you please mute yourself? Yes, thank you. Okay, yeah, so if we talk about the program for the new era, for the new period ahead of us, we will need to start looking not just how we're going to deliver the regular guiding activities online, so, you know, cooking and knots and I don't know, making masks or whatever we need to do. We really need to look how we're going to address the bigger problems. And one of the biggest problems in all age groups is mental health. Girl Guiding UK have done quite a big study about girls' mental health during COVID, and the results are quite alarming. There are also a lot of other organizations who have kind of focused or did some research on mental health in children, and especially them being at home, doing homeschooling. And I know in India, there has done quite a big research as well. about children not going now to school because the schools are closed. And so yeah, that can be applied to a lot of other countries where schools are still closed. So anyway, I would really like to bring your attention to these topics, to maybe think about how you can up your program, how you can strengthen it, how you can grow through this, such as mental health, online safety. Poverty is going to be quite a big challenge. Diversity and ecology, for example. Each organization would have tendencies towards one or the other. But this also means if you want to grow through program, you don't need to do it alone. You can reach out to some institutes, for example, some other organizations who deal with these issues and do something with them. Okay. If you're interested in how to launch mental health initiatives in guiding and scouting, I can help you with that. We have some good resources where we can support you with this. Okay, so if we move to image and visibility, it's one area or one way how you can grow. So later on, we will hear about Yes Girls. They decided to grow through improved image and visibility. So they kind of decided that they will use the social platforms and go through that and recruit members through that. So this is good if it's combined with advocacy, especially nowadays, because we need to show our potential members, their parents, donors, and the community what we actually do. So we need to be, especially with this kind of growing through image and visibility, we need to be very, let's say, good in communication, very loud, I would say, in a way, loud to make sure that everybody gets our message, to understand what we are actually doing and what the value we bring to our communities. Okay. One is growth through financial resources. Of course, in good times, this is much easier because people can much easier apart from their money. Some organizations decided we can't grow if we don't have money, so they focused on, let's say, getting the financial resources and growth through that. But I would really invite you to seek maybe some alternative ways. Maybe even in this time, try to include in some of your programs this social entrepreneurship, maybe teaching your members how to manage their money, how to maybe use their skills, how to use social media, if they're producing something, how they can sell it online, that sort of stuff. So really trying to figure out different ways how you can get more financial resources. Because also the government has reduced funding in many countries and to many member organizations. So saying we don't have money, we can't get members in, is just, let's be aware that there are different ways how we can reach members through different areas, which don't cost much. Governance, so it's building, so governance in general, but also building and strengthening strategic partnerships. This is now the time when we, because we are anxious and so on, we try to kind of retrieve and feel safe in ourselves, in our own ammo. But it's a really crucial time to reach out and connect with other partners. If we already have partnerships with strong organizations, to strengthen that, renew, and if we don't, to maybe start building, because in future, especially when it comes to funding, governments will have less money and they're more likely to give money to partnerships, to more organizations kind of working together than giving money to individual organizations. At least that's the trend I can say here in Europe, because you almost can't deliver a solid big project by yourself. You always need to have at least like 2-3 partners. So yeah, it's becoming quite a trend as well. Okay, so of course, all of these areas working together, but please be realistic. This can be really challenging, especially if each area is doing their own work. Sometimes that happens. So really start with focusing on growth through one area at first, or two areas maybe, to decide how you're gonna, because sometimes when we have limited resources, we panic and try to do everything. And then the result is probably less impactful than if we would focus on one area or two. Okay, so another way how we can successfully grow is to have a realistic plan, which is based on data and information. I mentioned this data and information, and I know we are kind of nagging in this, and some organizations have very good automatic ways, but we're noticing that a lot of organizations don't have data tracking. When you say data, it could be different types of data. It could be like collecting the actual numbers of the girls, adults, volunteers, alumni. It could also mean collecting needs, information about the needs and expectations and priorities. So often we think that we know what's best for our members, but not often we ask them what they actually need. So earlier I mentioned mental health challenges. So this is one example how, for example, a member organization, the main leaders, the executive board, they thought the girls need more program, more activities online. But then somebody decided, let's just actually ask the girls what they need. And the surprising result was girls said, like, yeah, we can entertain ourselves. That's not a problem. We don't necessarily need all the guiding activities. We can already organize them ourselves. What we need is like some solid support in how to manage stress and anxiety and all the emotions that they're feeling through this period, and something to give them like the hope. Yeah. So this is really important to assess the needs of not just the girls, but also adults and volunteers, because we want to get into that happy place, but there's a path to get there. Okay. So the other really important thing is bring value. So you need to know what is the unique value of girl guiding, and really think about how you can bring this real value to the girls. I wrote here girls, but this also means adults in the organizations, volunteers, and overall the community. So again, this is when you're making your plan, don't plan just how something is going to benefit your MO. Plan how this is going to benefit the community or the country if you live in a small country. So plan, for example, that you will deliver something not just for your members, but something that can be applied to maybe wider. So try to think in a way of leave no one behind. Yeah. So sometimes when we are kind of dealing with some things, it's easier to focus on what we know, but this is a good time to challenge ourselves to really step out and maybe do something different. Okay. So the other thing is this focusing on opportunities. So really thinking big. I know it's difficult, but this is, I see at least this crisis, this pandemic, as an opportunity for guides and scouts, for our organizations, to position ourselves as the center of the community. So when we talk about the civil society, a lot of organizations, NGOs much smaller than us, or working differently, you know, they are in their own position wherever they are. But we need to think where we are and what's our unique value and what can we give to the community. So really making sure that we become this center of community. And that also means when parents at the beginning of the school year or whenever they're enrolling children are deciding where their children are going to go, or if they have any extra money to give for extracurricular activities, we really want for everybody to be very clear that that's Guides and Scouts. Yeah. So we want them to choose Guides and Scouts over maybe, I don't know, football or something like that. It is possible, I know. So yeah, we really need to use this opportunity. And I think for the organizations who are starting their Guidance Scout year in the next few months, this is now the time for the next, let's say, month and so to really position yourself like as a center of the community. So there are some examples how maybe finding alternative ways, such as, I don't know, shifting from school-based to community-based. So really trying to look for some other ways. Okay, and then again, find support. There are a lot of COVID-19 resources on WAG's websites. You can also use CAT process to help you with making your plan. You can use mentors, partners. WAGS is also offering consultation and so on. So really kind of have this, and then you can almost have it as a little checkbox. Okay. And then create scenarios. What will happen if something happens? And what will happen if nothing happens? So this is important to go back to these. Okay. So what I want you to think about here is the word creative. So get creative and find new ways how you can create awesome plans which are realistic. Okay, we will move on a little bit faster because I think we don't have that much time and I talk a lot. Okay, so successful growth also happens when you nurture the growth-focused mindset. I know this kind of might sound a little bit kind of there in the cloud. What does this actually mean? But this really means that you use every opportunity for growth, that you see this crisis, like really program yourself to see this as an opportunity for growth, for personal growth, for all the leaders and members, and really through your communication and your program, try to explain that, try to encourage them to think in that way. And then it's really important to kind of work on this personal support to leaders. So continue and increases. And I mentioned here your area of influence. Often we talk about the girls and what we're going to give to the girls. And you know, we have the girls in our mind all the time. But then when we step back and think, okay, what is my area of influence? It kind of changes the perspective, which means this webinar, the area of influence is you who work in your MOs in area of membership recruitment, let's say. This means that you're actually probably working with team leaders and you're not working directly with girls. So this means having this personal support to leaders. So national board would have direct support, would give direct support to, I don't know, regional committees or some teams which are working on the country level. So in the grander scheme of things, like philosophically, yes, we think about girls and we have them in our mind, but let's think what is our area of influence, because Chief Commissioner doesn't necessarily deliver a program on the grassroots level, but she delivers you know, program, and she's in touch with her board. So her area of influence is actually her board. Is this clear or it's too complicated? No? You can ask me a question then later. Sometimes we just get into this thinking that we need to say all the girls, but yes, we will. Just a second, I need to, yeah. Okay, moving on. So again, nurturing this positive, encouraging, creative, organizational culture. A lot of people are angry and disappointed now, but we really can work on this and have this really good, because if we are feeling good, we can do good things much easier. And then focus really on growth rather than just recruitment and retention. Yeah. So the word here is calm. You know, be calm and steady and have a good mindset, and you can get things done and be ready. Okay, some lovely girls. Yes. Okay. So we have, let's say, 2 more slides with a lot of words, and then we'll move on very quickly. Okay, so the first thing I put here is retention strategies. And I put retention because retention is actually much easier, much cheaper than recruitment. There are a lot of activities which are interconnected, and we use some strategies in one and some in other, and some in both. But yeah, focus on your retention first, because you already have those people, right? So they're already Girl Guides, Girl Scouts. We really don't want them to lose them. So have, instead of recruitment and retention, have in mind more like retention and recruitment. Yeah. So one of the ways definitely is to define and create MO's membership benefits. Have very clear idea what are the benefits for members for your members to be a member of your organization. So you can even communicate this very openly to them. So pretty much think in a mindset of a member saying, what's in it for me? So a member needs to know what's in it for them being a member of your organization. So you can highlight the opportunities, you can highlight the community, which is really important at this time. You can highlight the impact of society, resources, all these sort of stuff. So this needs to be very clear, like you need to have a clear idea why your members would join. Spend some time kind of working on this. Make onboarding a priority. So this is also getting acclimated these existing members, but also the new ones coming in. Use some starter kits, try to make it as easy for them to reach information, to have information, the basic things and that sort of stuff. You can even make like a pack, like a COVID pack. Some organizations have already done this. So just try to kind of give them something useful that they can use to keep them in the organization. Retain them through personal engagement and communication. Earlier on, I mentioned your area of influence. So your area of influence as a chief commissioner is going to be different than your area of influence as a unit leader. So keep that in mind and use that to the most benefit. And then ask for testimonials. So we need to showcase the value of being a Girl Guide, Girl Scout. We need to showcase why we need to be the center of the community. So yeah, get these testimonials and use them in your communication. This is also helpful for funders. Like this is also helpful to show potential funders. And then, of course, show appreciation. So this can be done through different awards, special events. It could be an online event for your leaders or for your volunteers. Some special recognitions. We have seen that in WAGs this year, there has been quite a lot of awards given, which is a very motivating for people who are doing a lot of work and putting time in. So having a special awards or recognition is really good. You can even just send them an email of, thank you, you're doing great, let's keep on. You can even establish an alumni club if you don't have it, and then maybe put something online, have a group, get them engaged there, that sort of ways. Okay, so these would be some basic retention strategies. But of course, the most important thing is to do the work, right? Okay, so I wrote here new year, new opportunity. For some of you, it's not going to be a new year, but still, let's say new time, new opportunity for recruitment strategies. So when we think about recruitment, we really need to be where the girls are. So when they asked Baden-Powell how to get more members, what he said is be where the boys are, which means like understand them, listen to them, try to figure out what they're interested in. And really in all ways, whether it's on social media or in a physical space, is be where the girls are or be where the boys are. So this means segmenting your members and marketing to proper audience. So adapting your communication to different audiences. And then personalizing your mass communication with different target groups. This is also like, you can get this in some free of charge online tools and applications. You can already do very good personalized communication. So have different styles of messaging for different groups because they respond to different kind of words or different communication and this sort of stuff. Make sure that your sign up is really easy. In one of the previous webinars, one organization was showing their online recruitment form that was excellent. It doesn't need to be super complicated. It could just be some Google form, something easy, but just make sure that they can sign up online and that they kind of have some sort of automated sign up, something like this to make it easier for them. This is really helpful. And then utilize the virtual connection space. So update your website, maybe put local units contacts, again, your area of influence, right? Think in that terms. And so if there is a website that has already local units contacts, the path from when somebody expresses interest to when they actually sign up is going to be so much faster. You need to make this really easy, like a two-step way, not to lose potential members. And then really engage them on social media. Social media is a huge resource for recruitment and retention. So you will talk about this more in the image and visibility contents that are coming. Yeah. So I will not kind of lose too much time on how to engage in social media because there's a lot of resources there as well. Okay. And then you can also be super cool and create sort of a ninja recruitment squad. This is your kind of enthusiastic ambassadors who can kind of do the online social media activities. They can also do some face-to-face recruiting. It really is up to you in which phase of the pandemic you are. But this could be also your like very quick responsive group that you can send maybe, not send, that can also support different local units if they need some help with recruitment. So these would be your enthusiastic ambassadors. Okay, so these are some resources. WAGS has developed a recruitment and retention membership toolkit, which we are trying to find in a good form because it's not currently on the WAGS website. And the Europe region's WAGS membership toolkit as well. There are some really excellent tips there as well in both of these. Like I mentioned, they're not currently at WAGS website, but we will find them and send the information to you. And there are kind of some other online resources you can find. There's also this WAGS consultation sign up. That's also a good resource. Please use it. There are WAGS volunteers and WAGS experts who can help you in different areas. And then there are also different MOs resources. So if you have resources on recruitment and retention, please do share them with us because we would like to know and kind of share them with others. We're also renewing the WAGS toolkit on recruitment and retention. So we want to include some new contents in the toolkit as well. So maybe your resources could be part of it. Actually, yes, last slide. Just to wrap it up, please don't forget to, again, be where the girls are. So listen, observe, be patient, and yeah, find them where they are and get them. Collect data and information, super important, so you can create good plans. Of course, make a plan, have a plan, and dream big. And then focus on your priorities. You can't do it all, but you can do something. And then just do it and fix it as you go. So don't try to have it perfect from the start, just kind of, yeah, And the last one is be courageous, creative, and calm, and everything is going to be okay. I took way longer than it was intended. I apologize for that. So yes, then we will continue later with questions. Okay, back to Maya. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much, Koka, for your presentation. You really talked a lot about the retention, recruitment, and even the growth of membership in the MOs. And actually, you have, I guess, all the participants must be thinking about how important things you have explained regarding different approaches to retention, recruitment, and the growth. So everyone must have the common feeling, I guess, like our movement is big, it's loud, and it's impactful, not just because of the programs we deliver, it's because of our size as well, our membership as well. So if the size declines by any region, then of course our valuable programs, our volunteer teams, and all our efforts will have limited impact in the world, in the society. So thank you so much, Koka, for addressing such a common and serious issue of all the MOs at this stage of pandemic. Thank you once again. Now I would like to welcome the Yes Girls participants. One is Noreen, and the second is Saru Gosai from Nepal. She is the country coordinator. And Noreen is from Bangladesh. She is now in Madagascar. And everyone is well aware about Yes Girls movement. It's an, of course, international exchange program of young girls who are of age between 18 to 25 years. And actually, these girls are given the opportunity to go and stay in another country for 6 months, where they work with the Girl Guiding Association. And these Yes Girls, they have really been wonderfully doing this online recruitment campaign. So just to let us know how their campaign went and how impactful and how interesting that was, I want to pass on the floor to Noreen and Saru.
Thank you, Maya ma'am. Okay. Hello, everyone. It's me, Saru from Nepal. I'm Yes Country Coordinator. And today we are here for discuss about the Yes Girls project, along with our Welcome to My World campaign that we have done during the lockdown period. And I want to give to Noreen for the introductions and what she will be talking.
Thank you, Saru. Hello, I'm Noreen Fatemi. I'm 2020 years participant from Bangladesh to Madagascar. Today, actually, I will be talking on Welcome to My World campaign that we run online and the online membership recruitment. Thank you.
Can I share my screen, or Koka will do?
You can share your screen. You can just press share screen. Do you have your presentation on the
Yeah,
desktop?
I do.
Okay. At the top, you just kind of share screen. Or at the bottom, there's a green button, you see? With a little arrow. Yes.
Okay. Firstly, I would like to start with what is Yes Girls movement and what it is all about. Okay, Yes Girls movement is generally Youth Exchange South to South Girls Movement, which is an international exchange program, as already told by Maya ma'am, and it is funded by Norwegian Agency for Exchange Corporations and the Norwegian Government Agency. And this journey was started in 2015, and 6 years later, this journey is still continue. And through this exchange program, 211 young women have been benefited, as well as 15 countries in Africa and Asia Pacific. Like while talking about Asia, Nepal and Bangladesh are only 2 countries which are involved in this project. And this project generally aims for 18 to 25 years of young girls and women, which belongs to WACS member organizations, and they will have an opportunity of a 6-month international experience. And this platform provides the girls to develop their leadership as well as confidence builder, and it also helps to be a change agent and make a meaningful contribution to both their home and host countries as well. As this project is totally all about 9 months. In the first month, we will do preparations and training for those who are selected from the home association. And the 6th month, they will be spending in their host member organization. For 6 months, they will do different activities based on their agreement, which generally includes 4 initiatives of our Yes Girls project along with the WACS initiatives. And for the 2 months, they will be doing mandatory reporting as well as follow-up activities to their home member organization. This time, due to the pandemic, every participants are in their host association, but now they are doing the follow-up activities for the home member organization, though they are staying in the host association. And it talks about 6 core initiatives, which are like, the first one is Welcome to My World. It generally talks about the recruitment and retention to the young girls and women into the guiding world. And the second one is the Green Tech Generation campaign. It's all about related with the environment, and we challenge the young girl and young women to be responsible toward our environment. And the third one is the Yes Girls Can campaign, through which we launch a campaign generally on the major problems and violence faced by girls, as well as it helps to create the positive impact to all the young girls and women. And the next one is Friends of Guiding, which is engagement of stakeholders as well as the government people and the local leaders, through which our project can be launched, as well as they can also take actions on issues that has been faced by the girls. And the next one initiatives is Good Turn Community Projects. It generally includes like community activities where the Girl Guide will take promise and they undertake an activities, at least one sustainable community project in their host countries every year. And the last one for initiatives is the Red Pride. It talks about menstrual hygiene management, where we share information and educate the girls about the menstrual hygiene, how we can maintain hygiene during periods, and how to minimize the pain and problems during this. And not only these core initiatives only, we also talk about the WACS initiatives like Free Being Me, HTV campaign, WACS leadership mindset. These all are done by our Yes participant while they are staying in their host association. And the next one is the 27-day challenge. This challenge we have done during the time period of lockdown. Like, we can't go to field activities and we can't go to visit school communities. So for motivating our Yes participant as well as the young girls, we plan to launch 27-day challenge, which will be done through the social media. And this campaign was held on Facebook, Insta, Twitter, and almost all the social media. Like the first week, we talk about Yes Girls Can Stay Safe from COVID-19, as it was the beginning for the COVID-19. So, and the second week, we talk about Welcome to My World, which is about the online membership recruitment. And the third week, we talk about Red Pride, as well as our Yes participant made COVID-19 survival strategies, a handbook for Girl Guides and worldwide. You can find this one in our VAX website. And next week, 4th week, we talk about celebrating biodiversity. It talks with the Green Tech Generation campaign. And at the last week, we do doing the Bhutan with a collaborative mindset. Here we engage our alumni as well as the friends of guiding and the young girls and guides from their respective host association. And next one is Welcome to My World. This was done through online. It is about the membership growth campaign. In this, for the first day, we shared the experience of being Girl Guide and Girl Scout. Even our parents also shared their support to the daughter, or why they need to be a Girl Guide and Girl Scout. For this, not only from the host association, but the Girl Guide and Girl Scout from different countries and different parts of the world share their experience so that we can motivate other young girls as well. And next day, we introduce the Girl Guide and Girl Scout using the strong and catchy headlines with the different scouting and guiding pictures of the host association. Through this, they can know about the Girl Guide and Girl Scout of a particular host association. Likewise, we also, and our Yes participant also shared the experience through the videos through which we can motivate, or through which they motivate and encourage the young girls and women to be a part of scouting and guiding. And likewise, we also share the process, how we can join scouting or guiding in a particular country. Our Yes participants share the procedure for joining the scouting and guiding in their particular host association. And like even the parents also share their experience, and they also send the message and videos why they need or why they want the daughter to be Girl Guide or a Scout. And the major and purpose of this Welcome to My World campaign is like we can motivate and encourage the young girls and guides to be a part of this, to be the part of guiding, as well as they can also be the change agent. And the major challenge that we face during Welcome to My World is, as Maya ma'am already told, that the recruitment process is different from countries to countries. So the major challenges we face is the recruitment process of a particular country. Talking about Nepal, recruitment process is generally school-based, so we face a big problem while doing online recruitment. This is my part, so I would like, and wait, I want to share some of the activities that have been done in Nepal by Yes Participant 2020. Okay, this one is our official page of Yes Girls Movement in Nepal Scout. And here you can see some of the activities that have been done by our Yes participants during their stay in host association. Like this one is the our Yes Girls Can campaign. Here they share, like we work on acid attacks, so our Yes participant work on Yes Girls campaign like this. This is also done at the time of pandemic period. And this one is for the meeting with our ACE alumni related on doing the Guton community project. And this one is our Guton community project. It's all about biodiversity. You can go through this and you can see the activities that have been doing by yes participant. Okay, that's all for my part. So I would like to request Noreen to share her part.
Thank you, Saru, for giving me the floor. As I have been in Madagascar for last 6 months for my exchange, and this year the exchange has been totally different from previous years, as we started our journey, and just after 2 months, because of the coronavirus, we had to stay at home and run all the activity from home. So our team WAGs and they arranged us some online activities, so we can run our core initiative activities online. And one of them was a Welcome to My World campaign. Let me share the screen. Wait a minute.
Noreen, it seems that your internet is quite poor because you are kind of frozen. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to share the presentation.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So Saru already kind of explained it's quite a bit about the Yes Girls project. So why we wanted to highlight Yes Girls project is, and their online membership campaign is just kind of to show how you can grow through image and visibility and communication. So this is one of the ways. So they kind of focused on growing through using social media, but they included program as well. So this is just kind of like, for example, one way to really highlight on the communication tools to grow. Yeah. Noreen, it seems like it's not working.
Sorry.
No worries. It's okay. Maybe it's just can't, maybe just the internet can't kind of pull. Do you want to tell us maybe just a few sentences, because we have already seen in brief from Saru, who presented before you, how the campaign kind of looked. So
Okay,
maybe
so for the welcome to my for the Welcome to My World online campaign, we had 1 week campaign. So on the first day, we actually created and posted banner on all the social media platforms to let everyone know what our activity will be for this week and for that day. And for the second day, we introduced girl guiding and created leaflet using different age group pictures of girl guides, and which actually represent that any girl from any age can join girl guiding. We also posted 5 different age group pictures on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that girls are enjoying at any age the activities. For the third day activity, actually for every day we had introductory post that what is today's activity going to be. For the third day, we described that day's activity, and then we had we actually created and posted a video of our team Fanilo, like we members sharing our guiding experience, what guide helped us to learn, and what we got, what opportunities we got from guiding. And then the next day, it was the video sharing our experience as a Yes Girls, how Yes program has given us the opportunities and what we were doing. So we shared that video, and on the last day, it was engaging the girl guides from our host association Fanilo Madagascar and also from our home associations. So they actually recorded videos sharing their experience, how they joined guiding, how their parents are supporting them with this movement, and some sent messages or some sent videos. So it was really interactive. Our Welcome to My World campaign was actually a campaign sharing our experience as a guide and Yes participant, so also sharing the experience why girls should join, what opportunities they are offering.
Okay,
And
very good.
why should why should parents support their daughters to join girl guiding? And for this campaign particularly, it was really a successful campaign, because girl guides from all the country, like from Fanilo Madagascar and our respective home association, they shared their stories, and many girls like who are not guides already, they were really interested in guiding. They saw the opportunities, they feel like girls are really enjoying, as we say, it's not guiding if it's not fun. So they really tried to enjoy, so they were inspired. And for the online recruitment, online membership recruitment for Fanilo, we actually launched the membership recruitment on the 3rd week of May. First, we actually created a Google Sheet and Google Form to collect the data from for the new guides. And actually, our first plan was to just share it on our social media platform. But then we thought it won't be that interactive, or girls might not respond. So what we did, we tried to make a game plan, online game plan, of which includes the young leaders from Fanilo Madagascar. So we, from their diocese, the leaders, young leaders would try to engage guides, like recruit new guides as much as possible. And at the end of the week, whoever recruits the most guides, she will be rewarded with a prize. So it was really a good initiative, and our association liked our suggestion, so they worked on it. It was interactive for them. They tried to collect new girls online, as this is actually as much as we like to recruit or engage with girls in the field work, but this time the online thing was really interactive, and we actually learned how to manage social media, and people really improved their skill in that field. And but in one thing, because for this country the challenge was the internet, so the recruitment, it was a little harder for them, but still they tried their best to recruit as many girls as possible.
Okay.
So this
Yes.
was our online activity for the membership and the Welcome to My World campaign.
Okay,
Thank you.
excellent. Thank you, Noreen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maya, to you.
Thank you so much, Saru and Noreen, for your wonderful presentation on Yes Girls and your activities, and also welcome to our world, the online recruitment campaign. It was really nice to hear from you. And of course, now we have BSG India to speak about or to present on how they have been recruiting the members, or how they have been working or connecting the members online. We see that BSG is one of the largest member organization. It has many young girls, volunteers, and leaders. So to keep them all in the loop is indeed a very difficult and challenging task. But they have been doing it online, keeping all the people in the loop. So how they have been able to do it, what are the challenges they have been facing, and what are the things that other people can replicate from their learnings. So to present on all these issues, we have the Joint Director Guides from PSG India, Darsana Pavaskar. So Darsana, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Maya. I hope you guys can see me,
Yes.
hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you, Maya, for those wonderful words to bring in and highlight that yes, BSG is a huge organization and a huge membership. Yes, it was difficult for us to make a note about how we can bring in all the members actively participating, and how we can keep them active while this COVID situation. It was a challenge. I'll go with my presentation by telling about where we are placed and how uh, we came to a solution. Yes, we have got 6 regions, and to be more specific on the number, yes, we are 2.1 million membership as a whole, with 5 lakh bulbuls. Bulbuls are the primary school children, 15 lakh of guides, 1 lakh of rangers, and 1 lakh of unit leaders and volunteers as a whole. We had these 6 regional offices which came to a shutdown all of a sudden. And we really did not know how to bounce back with this situation of COVID. Our sections which we have are bunnies 3 to 6 years, cubs and bulbuls 5 to 10 years, guides 10 to 17 years, rangers 17, 25, and ranger leaders and unit leaders 25 and above. So what happened all of a sudden was there were children at all these different levels. These are advancement levels for Bulbul. So when she comes into the age of 5, that is how she keeps on advancing on all these different levels. So there were some girls who were at Pravesh level, some girls at Komalpang, Rajatpang, Swarnpang, all different levels. They were all there, and everything just came to a standstill. This was with bulbuls. It's very similar to cubs. Scouts and guides, we do have these state level. A scout has to go through this Pravesh, Pratham, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Rajya Puraskar, and then Rashtrapati. Rashtrapati is the President's Award. Rajya Puraskar is the state award. So these are huge awards, certificates which have been given to the child, where the child works, and there's a testing which happens, much more formal testing which happens, and only then the child is cleared to the next level. So these were the things which were a challenge. How do we do it? But at the same time, these 4 levels at the bottom were where the children were connected to the leaders, and the leaders had to take initiative and see that the curriculum is still running, and still they can find some positive thing in the moment and some reason to continue. These were scouts, and these were rovers and rangers. We don't have huge number of rovers and rangers. We are working on the membership growth on rovers and regions as a whole. But these were all these challenges that we were facing right now. Rovers and Rangers are the senior sections where they do a lot of service projects, and they couldn't go out. They couldn't go out. They could not clear the eligibility for state level award, Rajya Puraskar, and President Award. So even there was a challenge. So what were the challenges that we were facing with the curriculum, with the syllabus? Outdoor activities like petrol hike, nature trail, historical place visit, company projects, community projects, campus trail, natural study projects which were there, service projects where they had to do, like when they have to clear their Rajya Puraskar, they have to do a lot of 6 or 7 service projects in the community. Only then they get cleared for the testing for state level, and then they can go for the President Award. So this was a huge thing that we had to face and look into, and this was the thing which had to brought a lot of attention. Cooking in open, overnight hacks, everything just came to a standstill. So looking into these challenges, we went back and looked back and saw what was the government trying to ask from us. What is WAGS trying to ask from us? What are their expectations from us? What is WASN's expectations from us? As you all know, we are a SAGNO, Scout. SAGNO means we have Scouts and Guides organization together. I forgot the abbreviation. So we really had to think about what WASM is asking, what WAGS is asking, and what Indian government is asking from us. So these were few of the projects which we were already running with the government: Skill India, Beti Bachao, SDGs, environment, skill development, digital India, Serve Smart, Speak Out Loud, Stop Violence, Make in India. So we tried to put out these things, how we can put into our curriculum, so that as Koka very nicely said, we need to show our projection and image and visibility by advocacy. So that was also very good opportunity for us in this COVID pandemic to show that yes, we do exist. Some kind of white and blue uniform people do exist in the community, and they are facing the same challenge. At the same time, they are coming in the community and helping them. And that just happened responsively to this COVID. Before we as NHQ could respond back to what is required by the community, our units, all our units, the Rovers and Rangers, started helping in the community, started providing food, started providing awareness campaigns. Those kind of things just bloomed all over. Navigate further. So what we did was, we did recalibrate the syllabus. Recalibration means some of the activities which the child can do, some of the activities the child cannot do. Some of the activities the child can do with supervision. As Cubs and Bulbuls, they are too small, too tiny, so their activities were very much based at home, along with parent and teacher who is supervising them, and teacher is the one who is giving them information. Like for example, they have a thing called as a nature trail. They need to go out in the garden and pick up 5 plants, 5 or 5 flowers, and then make a note of it. So that kind of thing, the child cannot go out, or maybe can go in her garden, but the teacher can make a presentation via Zoom or via online, or speak to them on phone call. That is just an example which I gave. But then those activities were put along with the parent and teacher's supervision. Then the Scouts and Guides. Scouts and Guides was a bigger lot, the senior section, from grade 6 to grade 10. So their activities were very much where they had to take responsibility of the family and do activities along with the family, like a campus trail. They had to organize, they had to learn the woodcraft science from the teacher, and organize a trail for the parents and family members in the home itself. So that was something which they had to do for the family. Or cook in open, they were been given activities to cook for 6 days for the family. So that kind of responsibility and learning new things were added in. Rovers and Rangers was purely service based. They had to go online, they had to work in the community, they had to come out and do awareness of COVID. But at the same time, looking into the risk of COVID, it was very important that we do take care of our members. So they had to do awareness, but not awareness. If they're not comfortable to go out in the community and do awareness, then they just had to make a chart of washing hands. What are the steps that they have to do on washing hands? Put it outside their compound wall or put it in their building where they are staying in the society. So creating awareness, but into their own safe zone was what we recalibrated the whole syllabus for the children. Further on, there were a lot of optional subjects like all the other projects that we took up. I got is I and government. All the members of Bharat Scouts and Guides were asked to register on iGot platform, which was a requirement from the government. They were asking all the members to register so they could monitor which is the nearest infection which you have about COVID. So that's how our members came up and they were highlighted into this platform. Plastic tide turner, they are doing a lot of workshops on that. Family trails, as I very well said. Virtual campfires for the units were organized by the teacher and further on by the petrol leader. Mask making. There was a huge call from our Prime Minister asking each person to make at least 10 masks and distribute in their community. So that became a huge element in servicing. So mask making was added in all the levels of our curriculum. Like the child who is in Pravesh, who have just initially come in, he has to make masks 5 for the family and distribute. The child who is going for state level, they had to make 4 masks, 40 masks and distribute in the community. So that kind of level went on increasing to the level of syllabus at where the child was. COVID awareness drive, like I said very much, whether you create an awareness drive by coming out and helping the administration, if you're comfortable enough with your own precautionary measures, or your own individual awareness, like making a poster and sticking it outside your fencing. For rovers and rangers, having a knowledge about where are the quarantine centers, how can you help people to go through these quarantine centers, and what are the help needed by these quarantine centers, and how as rovers and rangers you can help them. Gadget from waste, that is eco. Plastic tide turner, cooking for family, as I said, SDG activities, different activities like Stop Zero Hunger. So there were many community and unit leaders who came up and they're still serving food to the people who are on street. Hand wash awareness, make a video and put it on your social media on hand wash awareness. We did take out 2 of our very major projects, that was Sankalp and Udan, where the children work on individual basis. Further on, giving more appreciation, BSG COVID Warriors, a newsletter was taken up, a weekly reporting, which went to all the ministry, to all the stakeholders. And that's how we were projected. Like in the 3rd phase of lockdown, Bharat Scouts and Guides were appreciated by the ministries. And they did come to us asking, like, you give us the number of members who are ready to work in the community, in the local district. So it was a good pat for us that we could make that visibility during this COVID situation. And we were flashed in all the news channels, in all the Twitter handles of all these ministers. It was good. It was a proud moment for us. Not but the least, but then there was a lot of issues with our financial things. But what we said is like, we will not focus on the financial aspect right now, but we will focus on more on engaging our children. So all the national level camps which were postponed, all of a sudden they all became virtual online. Singing competitions, storytelling competitions, scout guider workshops on what they should be doing now with the units, with all these recalibrated syllabus done. Online registration we had started in November. So to see how this can go through, we are doing registration. A big, huge income comes from our adventure center, which is in Pachmadi. So what do we do now? Huge gatherings were stopped, but we still wanted people to be engaged with us. So there's a online webinar which comes up every morning of Sunday, every Sunday morning at 7:30, and there children do know what are the adventure bases and how adventure or discipline has changed their world now. So that is adventure feast, yoga feast during this COVID to keep ourselves healthy. National level other meetings and things were there. So we turned all of them into national online meetings. The first planning meeting was held, the state executive, everything went online. At the same time, we did ask the states to conduct these things online via Zoom. Another but not the least, our trainers were the ones who were lost. There was the one whom we tagged later on at the very end. We are having our first online guide wing reorientation course running. Today we are having our closing, and it's very nicely equipped. As you all know, the trainers are from a generation which is little bit behind from this online world. So they must have just come to their on-ride phone via WhatsApp. But from there, they have come to online classes. It's really wonderful to see all of them working. Same way, we are starting with our ALT online courses website for basic and advanced. Now, it was very nicely tagged how we can do all these things online for the children. For the leaders, but when they go back, it is asked for them to make an assignment, go back and see how you can connect with the local administration, local district association, and how you can conduct these courses, not necessarily online, but via a smaller number of groups. So that is where we have come now, responding and evolving in this COVID situation. Any questions?
Hi, Darshana, thank you. Yes, so we kind of asked BSNG to present because we wanted to kind of, for you who haven't seen and heard anything from BSNG and their work they're doing before, just to show us how you can grow through adapting the program and moving it online. So very good example. Thank you. Maya. We lost Maya. Maya went to Himalaya. No? Maya, are you with us? You are chair for this meeting. Okay, yeah. She's here. Yes, yes.
I just got lost.
No, you're here. You went to Okay, we're almost there. Almost there.
Thank you so much. When I was just away from the internet, Darshana, I guess she's finished her presentation. Yeah? Yeah, thank you so much, Darshana, for your presentation about how you moved into the online platform, what kind of programs just binded all the members from very small to the adult leaders, and how you could highlight your presence in the community and even raise the image of BSG India and girl guiding and scouting as a whole in your country. So we just could see so like very renowned artists and the industrialists and all those administrative personalities appreciating the works BSG India has been doing during this pandemic. So thank you so much for your presentation in this webinar today. Thank you. 17 member organizations register for today's webinar. On 25th July, as Koka reminded us, we concluded our first webinar on crisis management, where we talked about managing crisis to emerge as a thriving organization. So if anybody missed, then you can simply go through the YouTube, our YouTube. And to all the presentees, I really want to thank you for your patience. We are almost like, it's going to be 2 hours time. It's going to be 2 hours time, but we are yet. Many of you might have queries. Many of you might be willing to put forward questions for Koka, Yes Girls, and BSG India. So shall we begin the Q&A session? If you have questions for Koka or Yes Girls or BSG India regarding the membership, recruitment or retention or many other things, then please open up yourself. Feel free and comfortable to unmute yourself and raise your voice. You can either drop your question in the chat box, or you can simply unmute yourself and raise your voice for the question.
Maybe
Is
they
that
are,
okay,
sorry.
Koka?
Yeah. Maybe they're also tired or so inspired that they don't have any questions. Yeah. While you're thinking of your questions, maybe I just want to I have a question for you, and I have a question for Malaysian organization. If you can just very shortly, like 1 minute to tell us how you managed to kind of not really shift, but start working also on the community-based membership, because we know that you had school-based system. So one of the really good approaches in growth and membership growth is really, because children are not at school, we are looking for alternative ways. So Malaysia, I got an information that you managed to kind of also engage the community based. For me, it's quite a kind of a complex thing to understand, having one and the other, but I think it's a brilliant idea and a way kind of maybe forward if this continues. Just in short, Malaysian representative, can you tell us, please?
Hi, good evening, good morning, whatever the time. I'm Jaya, the Chief Commissioner for Girl Guides Malaysia. And we started this community guiding because we have a collaboration with World Guide Foundation. And World Guide Foundation is interested in membership growth. And we started with them last year in 2019. It's a 2-year project. And what we lacked was between the 18 to 30 years old, we did not really have a proper guiding system. We do not know where to put them and all that. So last year, we had this to bring in the university and colleges in. So we came up with this program called Clover for 18 to 30 years old. And we had our royal patron launch this with one of the universities in Malaysia. That was last year on the 4th of December. And after the launch, we also had people from the Ministry of Education, because this is under the Higher Institute of Learning. And later we followed up with a letter that we would like to offer community guiding to the universities, polytechnics, colleges, and also those girls, working girls, and so forth. So with that, this year, January, we received the letter to say that we could have guiding in all these places. And we were working on the Clover program, which is ready. And with that, we managed to have guiding, community guiding in all these areas, and also with the branches, because we have a lot of girls between this age of 18 to 30 to join in. So that is how we started this. And even yesterday, we have another we received another great news that we can offer guiding to the 17, 18-year-old, which is the pre-university. So we are very thrilled over that. So we are working on that, how to, and the Ministry of Education also said that they would call the teachers and we do the training to have this Clover group in these areas. So that was yesterday. So we already started working on it last year. So this is where we could see. And also on our Trefall Guild, which we established in all the branches to work with the community.
Yeah.
So this is what Girl Guides Malaysia is doing, and we did revamp quite a bit of our own ways of work with the community and ways of work of the board members, and we could see the results of this, and with our online registration. So it's not only school-based, we are going into the community with projects.
Excellent.
With the indigenous people and so forth. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Yes, very good. So I hope that some of you got inspired, and if you have any questions, I'm sure that Malaysia Girl Guides are happy to share their experience. Yeah. So again, thinking about how we can partner with bigger partners in the community for bigger impact. Be brave.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share.
Yes. Okay. Maya.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jaya ma'am, for your wonderful, actually it's a short but quite impactful presentation on today's webinar. And your presence is indeed very worthy, because since we are talking about concern about membership decrease or decline in one or other way, you talked about how you are growing and how you could partner with the bigger organizations just to have even bigger impacts in your country and in the community or in the global scenario. Thank you once again. Thank you so much. And we are still on with our QA session. We are still on with our QA session. So I really appreciate if anybody could just raise your hand or just drop the question in the chat box, or simply unmute yourself and raise your voice. For anybody else. There is someone. It's Metal, I think.
Hello.
She is raising her hand.
Hello.
Please, one.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
you hear
we
me?
can hear you.
Yes, I'm from Myanmar Girl. I'm a coordinator from Myanmar Girl Guides Association. My name is Myrtle. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
My name is yes, I'm Myrtle.
Yes.
Taking registration from online is okay, but how can we give trainings for the Girl Guides?
Training for the training in registration online or training in general?
No. Training, I mean registration online is okay.
Yes.
They can register online. But how are we going to give them trainings? The
activities. Yes, so you can create, let's say, if you're starting a new school year now, you can create your online registration, and then when they register online, you would probably, let's say, you would have a location where they come from, and you can allocate them to that local unit or that region, and then they can kind of try to have them on their list. So when they start the physical meetings, which I hope as soon as that's possible, most organizations will start, they can just kind of start with physical activities, but in between, in time, while that doesn't happen, you can also create some tools, some activities that can be delivered online. So you can have these girls register, and then have, for example, once a week, you have a Zoom meeting for that particular age group, which then can do some activities online, or every 2 weeks, something like that. That could run until they can have physical meeting space. Yeah, is that?
Yes, there is I don't know about other countries, but in our country, there is a rule that people, not more than 5 people, can gather.
But that's okay. Like, I think we need to use the best we can. For example, in my association, as soon as 6 people could meet, they just started doing what they can. So they would meet in groups of 6. So that means kind of being proactive, finding different ways. Yeah, so and maybe having 1 physical meeting, and then maybe having 3 virtual meetings. So anything to get the girls this kind of physical space when they can play, they can talk, they can see each other, because they really need that. Yeah.
Yes, and another information. It's just an information that it is not a recruitment. It is not a recruitment, but there is a program the 2 trainers are doing. Bring Back Together online program. All the girl guides, all who have been girl guides already.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, all the girls have been girl guides already. Yes.
All the girls have, meet on the social media.
Yes.
And then the program is called Bring Back Together.
Okay.
This is nothing to do with the recruitment. This is just an information I want to give you what we are doing.
Okay.
What we are doing in our country.
Very good. Thank you very much. Can we take some other questions, because we already exhausted our time for the webinar. Those of you who need to go, no problem. Those of you who need to go, we don't want to keep you much longer. If you have any questions, please send us questions. If you have requests for materials, do let us know. Just be proactive. You have nothing to lose.
Can we go with one
yes,
question
but
here
those of you
in the chat box? It's from Australia. And she says, in your presentation, Koka, you talked about the GT UK study on girls' mental health. Can you tell us more about those findings?
So yes, I mean, it's a quite substantial, let's say, research. I can send it to you. I got it this abstract of that is that they were surprised. They did they collected data in about 6,000 girls. And they were surprised that most of the girls were between 4 and 11. So data shows that kind of girls have really high levels of anxiety, loneliness, fear, worry. So they did a classical it's called depression, anxiety, stress questionnaire as well. It's kind of different don't know how to explain. Yeah, but pretty much their findings were surprising, because they found out that younger girls, especially that would be brownie age in many countries, originally they thought that they are not that affected, but they found out that they are probably the age group that is most affected, because they can't make sense of it. They just know that they can't hang out with their friends. They hear information from parents, so they are not old enough to make sense of it and understand. So yeah, they were surprised that most questions they got back was from this age group as well. So if you're interested, I can send you this, how it's called, the research. Yeah.
That's great.
Because they shared it with their members. I think it's somewhere online, but it's not very straightforward to find it. So I will send it to you. I will send you, Heather, also other materials on mental health. Yeah, if you're interested, there is actually a platform developed in English with also 5-week mindfulness program for ages like 11 to 99. So yeah, I'll do that. Anybody else?
Thank you, Koka. We have any question? Anybody else? So it seems like
Maya, are you with us? Are there any other questions, perhaps? I think we lost Maya. If there are no other questions, we will wrap this webinar up. Really thank you everyone for your time. I know it's not easy to sit in the middle of the day in a hot place for 2 hours. So really thank you for your patience with us and with all the presentations. Again, I will remind you, if you want to get some support from WAGS directly, you have an opportunity to sign up for the consultation. It could also just be to be allocated a mentor to talk to about any sort of issues, problems, anything. Please use this opportunity. We have a pool of volunteers who are covering 12 different areas. Recruitment and retention is one of them. And we are really more than happy to give you any resources to connect organizations, especially this sharing of good practices is so important because, you know, we have some organization who is doing a great work. We don't even know about it. So it's much easier to maybe take and adapt instead of, you know, invent a wheel in your organization. Yes, we need to really work together at this time to get to the thriving place as soon as we can. And again, I would encourage you to be brave and get physical meetings with the girls and boys, for those of you who are Sagno, as soon as that would be possible. Even small groups, even that would have a huge impact on their well-being, mental health, everything. And just really use all the resources and get going and get, you know, creative. Yeah, and get just the work done. Like I said, just do it and then fix it as you go. There's no time to be, you know, thinking too much. We have Maya back.
Yeah, thank you so much, Koka. Since we are already late, I just like to thank everyone for your presence from the very beginning till the end of the webinar. And thank you all the presenters. Love you for all your wonderful presentations. So this is the second webinar. The first one was crisis management, and the next one will be on fund development that is scheduled for 29th of August. I am sure everyone is aware of it. And the next one will be on going back to the guiding new normal. So that will be sometime in September. So just I wanted to share about our upcoming webinars as well. Thank you once again for all your patience till now, and thank you for the questions. If you have something else you want to talk about, please write to us. And if you have something to share with us, then you are most welcome. And if you have comments and compliments over the webinars we are conducting, then we will really be very, very thankful to you all. The region has to be thriving and growing, and it's all just because when we are united. So thank you once again, Koka, for all your efforts. Thank you, Robina. Thank you, Yes Girls. Thank you, Rupa, as well. Thank you, all the EPIC committee members, for joining us today in the webinar. And thank you, all the MOs representatives, the coordinators, the key people who are concerned, very seriously concerned about the membership, retention, and recruitment. Thank you once again. So see you next time in the next webinar. Till then, please stay safe, stay connected, and keep inspiring, keep yourself safe. Thank you. Thank you once again. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, they're so cute, all of them. Look at them. Go, guys.
Thank you.